Well, massive shout out to Lord Loken in the chat.
Hey,
Thank you.
That's a lot of gifts. Jeez.
That's a lot of gifted subs. Thank you so much for gifting 10 subs to the channel. For sure was asking, yo, why do we have some chest in the chat? It's for Lord Loken. It's for
It is. Hold on, let me get the
Oh my god. Yaku, please. Yaku, we're gonna get banned. Oh my god. But I don't know if you notice, people, but it's summer right now. We're here. We're in the islands. We're in the what'd you say, like the floatable isles? Or
yeah, inflatable island.
Okay, there we go. You know, we're Chilean. It's too hot to be fully covered up, you know.
It is. That's why you're wearing flannel.
There you go.
Yes! We kick off our semifinals here on Berlingrad LE. We're in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner. We, of course, have a blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He's, of course, going to be representing Shopify Rebellion. And he's got to be happy about this map in particular because we got little doggies here. Little doggos. He is ByuN.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the ex-military Protoss, looking to supersede and take the mantle from Zest himself. Representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is herO.
When we're talking about herO taking the mantle from players like Zest, I don't remember who it was, so I'm sorry I can't give you credit here. I remember seeing a meme somewhere on Twitter where it was from One Punch Man, or like a screenshot from One Punch Man, and it was SOS basically saying, "Now it's your time to ruin Maru's run." To herO. It's like, yes!
True. It's one of those things where SOS and herO were rivals for many years. They were longtime rivals back in Heart of the Swarm. And as you said, you know, SOS, he's also one of the ones who's stepping down, and maybe it isn't Zest who's passing the torch to herO. Maybe it's SOS instead. It's hard to say. Speaking of SOS and speaking of cheese, we do see a proxy Stargate. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, well, it's karma for 2 Rax Reaper, I think. Speaking of which, ByuN will be able to scout this with his Reaper.
Yeah, that was unfortunate pathing by that probe, because the probe coming from the top right that was caught by that Reaper was kind of sus. So ByuN immediately scouts in that direction and immediately does spot that Stargate.
3 Reapers should be enough to take out this pylon before an Oracle can really finish up. Oh, but the Adept has something to say about that. Who has a better micro? Who has a better micro? Oh, they trade an Adept for a Reaper, and that might have bought enough time for herO to pop out an Oracle if he chrono boosts. He's not chrono boosting.
He's not. The pylon is going to go down. The second Adept is a little bit too slow. He will get here, but not in time. And just like that, the proxy Stargate is completely shut down.
Yeah, I'd still be worried for a probe coming back in to repower that. That's exactly what herO's looking to do. But while all of this is going on, ByuN, he's making Marines now. Actually sending a couple of them to try to fight this, but yeah, he's making Marines now, he's making Widow Mines. He has his defenses, or enough defenses to deal with an Oracle.
Yes, he should be getting ready for this Oracle, as it will be repowered. Obviously, this Oracle is going to be incredibly late. A bit of a feels bad, man. So ByuN, he has such a massive advantage here in game 1. Oh no, the probes!
Well, the probes are tempting, but ByuN, he really just wanted to confirm the tech coming up here. He sees that's a Twilight Council, and that's a pretty late natural base. But you know, considering that herO was going for a proxy that got shut down, ByuN is just confirming that herO wants to macro up and you getting bases this game.
Oh my god, exactly. Meanwhile, herO invested so much to finally get this Oracle up and running, and he was baited in. Oh my god, the hidden herO. The hidden herO Widowmine takes it out.
He even got baited to that position by that Marine.
Yeah.
That was... I didn't even see that Widowmine there.
Jesus Christ. ByuN, he's just all over this game. Now he's going across the map from that Widowmine into a Widowmine drop. What do we have at home to defend? Blink is not done. We do have some adepts here at the natural base to focus down those Widowmines, but the drop is headed towards the main.
Nothing has gone right at all for herO so far this game. Even as a Terran player, my heart goes out to him, man.
Oh god, he's on the way. He's trying to keep up. He does warp in desperately. The Widowmines will burrow, and will they go off?
They will go off, but not on probe. So yeah, at least herO has been able to keep his probes alive. His economy is still stable for now.
Thankfully. So, this could have been disastrous, but herO is able to defend just in time. Behind this, we've got a robot on the way. Blink is finally going to finish up, and with this, he'll be able to have a much easier time defending. But ByuN, he's just not stopping. What's scary, mate, this Marine count is getting pretty high. This tank count also getting quite high.
Yeah, we're just waiting for medevacts at this point. ByuN, he's finished Stim. +1 is halfway there. One more hit and this medevac would have gone down, but was not to be. Adept's actually seeking their middle line. Oh, not quite.
What's important though, I think this is the first time, other than that Oracle, the Adepts do manage to get in and they scout, well, the production, they scout the second tank as it comes out as well. So now herO has a much better eye on what the army is looking like for ByuN, and the fact that there is still no third TC, or there is a third, but it's quite late.
Yeah, he knows that aggression is coming his way. This is going to be a very powerful timing for ByuN. herO doesn't necessarily need to shut down the army, but he does need to buy himself enough time to get something like some disruptors out or some Colossus out.
Oh yeah, speaking of, Robotics Bay is on the way. It's about to finish up, so then we can start that Colossus production. And herO, desperately, he's trying to keep ByuN here at home. He has his War Prism, he has his Blink Stalkers, has to be careful, has to respect that tank. But again, just keeping ByuN at home.
Yeah, pretty nicely done. ByuN has...
Oh!
I mean, he's had Stim for quite a while. He hasn't been able to go across the map just yet. That was so scary. I thought herO was gonna pull a bit of a patience there.
Patience, oh god. Is it SOS or is it patience? Who has herO been listening to?
I hope he's been listening to Patience.
Oh god, I hope so too. Meanwhile, we do have a recall all the way back home. I think herO has recognized, hold on, not the entirety of your army is here at home. I need to get ready for that push. And now, actually, not Colossus, instead, straight into Disruptors.
Well, I suppose it makes sense. He recognizes that ByuN already has a lot.
True.
Already has a lot of Marauders out. One good position. One good pounce.
No!
Colossus. Oh, man.
Mate, now it's on cooldown. Now it's go time for ByuN. That was the only disruptor. Oh no, there's a second one.
There is a second one, but it is pretty far in the back line. herO, I almost want to say pops that Purification over a little bit prematurely, but...
He did.
Alright, he did. He did.
The army is 3-1-4. We have another Nova. Oh my god!
Yeah, ByuN, his attention actually elsewhere for now. Was able to hot pick up right towards the end there, but still losing a decent chunk of his army. Doesn't matter much in the end though, because he has reinforcements coming down.
That he does. He targets down every single unit. There's nothing left. Only a single disruptor. Shot goes off. Oh, but it gets targeted down just in time.
GG is called, and ByuN having some fantastic reactive TVP here.
Jeez.
That was masterful.
That was insane. Everything was coming up beyond that game. Like herO, don't get me wrong, he was doing his best to keep up and to repower that Stargate and to be aggressive with his War Prism and even cutting corners and rushing out disruptors because he knew that he needed high risk, high reward if he wanted to survive. But ByuN was just so far ahead.
Too high of a risk, I suppose. Here for Solar.
herO.
Yeah, for herO, yeah. I don't know why I said Solar.
All good, mate, all good. I do think a lot of it did come down to that first Nova. Like, that was ambitious. The fact that, like,
really was.
like, that was so greedy for herO to drop that Disruptor and to try to catch the army unawares. When he dropped the Disruptor right next to the army as well, I was like, mate, what are you doing? Oh my god. Crazy.
Hey, but if ByuN isn't paying attention, he doesn't stim. Now he's stim, and it's like, oh no, I need to hop pick up. But that's herO for you.
If he's not paying attention, I got this. Oh god, he's paying attention.
Yeah. I mean, that's herO for you, you know? If he's not taking massive risks like that, is it really herO playing?
True.
I would argue no, as we continue our series now onto Hotwire LE. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way to the bottom right-hand corner. We, of course, have a blue Terran player coming down from the land of Korea. He, of course, is going to be representing Shopify Rebellion. He is, I believe, the Soul... no, I think Special is still playing against Cyan right now. But, yeah, one of the last Terran players remaining, he is ByuN.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. Going for another proxy, it is herO.
Just about going for the same builds as previously. ByuN also going for his 2 racks, so yeah, hopefully herO can keep his probe hidden a little bit more this game.
Yeah, the big difference is that there is no Cybercore here at home, so it is going to be a proxy gateway. So he's going to be aggressive with those gateway units. We'll see if this works better. As you said, like, due to these Reapers, ByuN is going to have a lot of, like, Reapers to work with, a lot of scouting opportunity, maybe the ability to spot this as it comes. Or even could just go across the map, you know?
Pretty much. Both defensively against these Zealots and offensively against probes. These Reapers can really do a ton here at the start.
Exactly. Meanwhile, that gateway is about to finish up at the same time as that Cybernetics core. So now we can start. I was going to say Stalkers. Turns out, both. Adept and Stalker.
Best of both worlds.
As yeah. ByuN, he's just so good with his scouting. I imagine that herO does this quite a bit, like this proxy style, and ByuN's like, mate, I know what I need to do.
Yeah. I would not be surprised at all. Well, the bunker is on the way, but it's still in construction.
Yeah, but now we already have 3 Reapers. Just like that, he should be able to outmicro that Stalker, and that's exactly what he does. The Stalker does get picked off immediately. There is one Adept that's about to rock up, but oh my god, immediately also runs into these Reapers, and the bunker will finish.
Yeah, unfortunate pathing there for the Stalker. They should target firing the one Reaper in the back line, and unfortunately that meant that the other Reapers were able to just chip away at the Adepts. One Reaper finally goes down. But everything else for herO goes down as well.
Yeah.
A bit of a rough start.
This is
for a RIP Protoss player.
Yeah, this is brutal. Like, herO obviously wanted to open up and he wanted to be aggressive, but because of all these Reapers, like, he has to come home. Otherwise, his mineral line is going to be, like, under threat. So all these Adepts do return, and just behind this, ByuN, he's got a base. You know, he's getting his factory up and running. He's chilled.
It really is. There aren't going to be any Blink Stalkers here or any Stargate units or what have you. If, you know, ByuN decides to go for another Widow Mine drop, it's looking rough. Can I tell you?
It really is. Finally, that Reaper will get cleaned up, but that one lone Reaper got 4 probe kills. Jesus Christ. We do have a decent amount of Adepts on the map. A surprising amount, and I guess maybe there's a chance they can get into the mineral line. Maybe they'll just all shade behind the natural and deny mining. There is potential here. There's potential.
But potential is just about that, you know, potential. Until it gets utilized. That's a lot of Adepts, actually.
Yeah, and just like that, they do deny mining. Oh, they'll get a couple of SCV kills here and there, and pure Marine is not going to be enough to deal with this. So just like that, at least herO is able to deal some counter economic damage.
Yeah, this is a lot of lost mining time. I think that cannot be overstated right now. ByuN just ain't mining whatsoever.
Yeah, no mining, no mules. The adepts are coming back in.
But they're starting to get dealt with a little bit. ByuN, pretty reactive, pretty quick to pull away the SCVs if need be, and that's a Dark Shrine.
That is a Dark Shrine. It is on the way. Oh god, no! The wall was about to not be a wall, but herO does not commit. Oh my god, but ByuN, he just reads everything. He's got a Raven on the way.
Mate. Talking about how useful Ravens are. It's one of the most valuable scenarios to have a Raven in.
Meanwhile, the Adepts do shade into the main base, and even though they don't get a lot of kills, they actually do scout the tech lab on the starport. So, herO should be able to look at that and read that and recognize the potential for a Raven.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be a little bit smarter with his DTs. He can't just throw them into the base willy-nilly. He needs to wait until ByuN pushes out and then tries to maybe try to maybe catch him off guard.
Exactly. Meanwhile, we do have a Widowmine drop here on the way. There was a Widowmine that was dropped, I believe, into the main base. It did get 2 probe kills, but only 2. So another Widowmine shot is coming into the natural. Up.
I think herO saw this earlier on, but oh no!
Oh
no! No!
Oh no!
Oh no! Okay, not the worst case scenario here for herO. I really thought he pulled away just a second too late, but in reality it was just a second too soon.
Yeah. Oh boy. That was so close. At least herO is able to deal with these Widowmine drops, and they haven't done too much. Speaking of drops, DT is here across the map, but we got detection. We got missile turrets.
Yeah, the bunker's still up and running. DT, yeah, still getting a couple of SCV kills, but that's not really the important thing right now for ByuN. The important thing is his army right now. Where is Medivacs? Okay, they're in production.
They're in production. The Raven is out leading the charge. ByuN does deal with that pylon. I love it. So there's not going to be any warp-ins here. There's not going to be any counterattacks unless the Warp Prism does get past.
Warp Prism is distracting ByuN so much, actually.
It is. And is it going to force him back? No, it doesn't.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, he's got some bio reinforcements now. He knows he can deal with the DT and the Warp Prism with his reinforcements if need be, and meanwhile he has a big enough army to just stem across the map and deal with whatever hero's got, like so.
Yeah, herO doesn't have any splash damage. He does have a lot of sentries for force fields. The DT is still being very annoying in the main base of ByuN. So maybe that DT can deal some damage. Maybe he can force some reinforcements to stay at home. But again, there's a lot of bio. No, the Immortal! No!
Immediately gets targeted down by the bio. We also have a little bit of a line of auto turrets just for added DPS. So many probes are going down. And it looks like ByuN's going to just get a pretty quick 2-0 here.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. These proxies have not been working out for herO whatsoever. The aggressive plays are not the way to go. And just like that, he's stimming and he's winning. There's nothing here, mate.
Now even the tank is down. GG is called. ByuN. Now a match point. It's herO of all players.
herO, you gotta calm down, buddy. Like every single game so far, the proxies, they've been scouted. Like ByuN has been responding so well to herO's openers.
Really was. Whether he was able to shut them down before they could get any damage done, or even just let them finish up and then deal with both deal with the proxy units being thrown his way and also get massive counter damage done. Just finding the weak spots in herO's armor. This is ByuN. We don't often see this too often. I mean, we see him whatchamacallit. Like, we normally see ByuN playing a lot more active in TvP, but So he can play reactive as well.
Yeah. He really can. And he's gonna have to, or I mean, I say that, but herO is going to have to try and approach this in a different way. It's been a quick semifinals already, mate. It's crazy. It's is Solar still waiting for his opponent? Is that happening right now?
No. I think he just got into game number 1 against Cyan here. Chicken Man and Dave Tessa both covering that if you're interested. But for now, we are going to be continuing upper bracket semifinals at TVP here, and it's going to be on 2000 Atmosphere. LE on the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. We, of course, have a blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He, of course, is going to be representing Shopify Rebellion once again. Sorry, he is ByuN.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. It is herO. He's got a mountain to climb, mate.
Yeah, well, he already took a really good first step, I think. Not going for a proxy. At least not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
I realize that as I say that, this probe can still throw down a pylon somewhere.
It can. I think something that's interesting as well is that ByuN has not changed anything. He's gone for the exact same opener every single game this series.
Well, the 2 Reaper is pretty early on. I mean, it gives him so much utility. I don't want to overuse that word too much, but it really does. It gives him the ability to scout what herO is going for, to potentially shut down a proxy if he catches it early on enough, and then from there also get counter harass damage done. It's really working out well for him.
Yeah, it really is. It's just been hard countering herO every single game. Until finally herO is forced to play a little bit more standard. You know, now we have a Nexus back at home. We don't have any kind of proxy Stargate or proxy gateway. So already I do appreciate this. It's just a shame that herO is doing this so deep into a series.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on that one probe though, on the minimap. Okay, he's just scouted for proxies. Okay. Yeah, he himself is not going for anything, you know.
Yeah, thank
right? Right?
I mean, so far the tech is in the main base. It is going to be a Stargate opener, which again I'm a little bit concerned by. It can be a little bit risky. You know, we saw Nightmare try and pull this off, and we saw it fail against ByuN earlier today. But we'll see if herO approaches this a little bit differently.
That we shall. To go for an Oracle first or Phoenixes first? I have to imagine Phoenixes if he built it back home. What?
Uh-oh.
That wall was not a wall. That wall was not a wall, and ByuN is able to sneak his way in. Gets a couple of probe kills, and I believe even gets eyes on that Stargate.
Not like this. Not like this. He does see the Stargate. He gets 5 probe kills in total. Not just that, also forces all of these adepts back home as well. Ay.
Does he see that Stargate?
He saw the Stargate.
Oh no. Oh no.
Alright, here we go. Oracle's coming across the map. This was scouted, so ByuN should be ready for it. There are Marines here at the natural base. But the main is still looking a little bit sparse. Well, scarce even.
Yeah, scarce.
Beautiful. Oh my god, he's just going for the Marines!
And, well, yeah, he has enough DPS to overpower all of them without a bunker. ByuN, you only have 4 Marines here, buddy. Don't want to get a little too cocky right now. And this is actually a major disruption in the mining of ByuN. Already, those 4 probes from earlier on, they get avenged. They get even more avenged.
Yeah, the Adept helps out so much as well. Finally, no, not even! Oh, with the hot pick up, the Phoenix keeps the Oracle alive.
And now herO can just recall those units.
Yeah.
This was damage that he needed to get done.
Exactly. Meanwhile, ByuN, again, despite scouting this, he just wasn't ready in his main base. All the Marines were here in the natural. The main was so exposed, and that's where the Oracle got all that damage done.
Indeed, it was. I feel like ByuN maybe a little bit indecisive here. I mean, we didn't really get to see him target down that Oracle or what have you. But to be fair, there was a lot going on in that engagement. So, yeah, you can't fault him too much for that.
Yeah. Ah, God. But with that, you know, suddenly I think this is the first time this entire series where like things are looking good for herO. Like,
oh yeah, herO is ahead for the first time in this entire series.
Yeah. Like finally, his build has been able to come to fruition. He has a decent Phoenix count, so he can shut down any drops. So now things like Widowmine drops, like we saw earlier, are going to have a harder time getting across the map. But to be fair, that's also why ByuN isn't going for it. But oh my God, the Phoenixes, they get damage done anyway.
Yeah, Phoenixes, man. The Stalkers of Sky, if you want to call them that. Really good defensively and offensively.
Exactly, and they're just doing a great job containing ByuN. To be fair, it's not like ByuN has a starport or any kind of drop potential at the moment anyway. He's still stuck on 2 bases, but that's the thing, you know, he's not going to be able to take a third anytime soon. He's in the dark, he doesn't know anything about what's going on, doesn't know the timing of the third base, doesn't know the tech follow-up either.
Yeah, he's really playing in the dark right now, and he's banking on another really strong timing to secure him another win here. Not necessarily in the game, but you know, to get another fight to maybe take out a base. And he is working really well on that army.
Oh, he is. Yeah, finally the Oracle is going to get picked off, but that frees things up for those Phoenixes to just dive into the mirror line, into the natural base, and get another round of workers. Meanwhile, you were talking about, you know, hitting essentially a timing. Like +1 is on the way, as well as Stim just finished up, combat shields, and soon ByuN will finally be able to break free from his contain.
He doesn't have any Ravens, he doesn't have any Widowmines, he doesn't have any tanks, but he doesn't need any of them. Because he has a massive bio army against what is going to be a majority gateway army from herO.
Pretty much. He has a lot of his supply in these Phoenixes, essentially. herO was able to spot the move out, so he is well aware of it coming across the map. Does he have enough to deal with this, though?
Not quite. I saw the charges get taken out. Sentries try to get their force fields, but they end up getting sniped. This will force ByuN to back away a little bit and regroup with the rest of his army, but I really don't think that there's too much deterring him from simming on forward, especially if all these Phoenixes and Chargelets want to fight away from shield battery range.
Exactly, but you know what? Charged up Phoenix is sometimes all you need, but the boys have been pulled. ByuN has had enough. He's like, man, you've been keeping me on 2 bases too long. It's time to pull a Skylar. It's time to pull every single one of the boys.
Well, the thing is, now herO just needs to survive. He just needs to survive, and he will win this game, but that's a pretty big if. All the SMEs get taken out, and the Chargelets get on top of the bio, but the Chargelets get evaporated as well. It's just the Phoenixes left. Can herO warp in? He can. The Medivacs got dealt with. I didn't even notice that.
Oh, they got dealt with. We did have another warp in. We had an overcharge as well, and it looks like ByuN is running out of steam. You said that herO just needs to survive. If things get too crazy, herO, he can just give up on the third base.
He absolutely can. Look at that worker disparity.
Oh no! The Widowmines! Mate.
They do get picked up before they can get anything done, and it looks like herO is gonna be fighting back in this series. ByuN is rapidly losing ground, and GG is called. herO takes game number 3. He keeps us in the semifinals. See what happens when you don't go for proxies, herO.
GG, well played. It is not going to be a 3-0. It is not going to be that easy for ByuN. herO has decided to play a little bit more standard, and ByuN a little bit hesitant with that all-in. What I mean by that is that he first pushed out across the map, and if you remember, he caught the army. He killed all the sentries, he killed all the zealots. If he had already pulled the boys at that time, he could have kept going. The reason why he had kind of like hesitated there at the watchtower is because that's when he was pulling the boys, and They arrived, but it felt almost as if that was a response by ByuN. ByuN is like, yo, I just killed all,
It
like...
definitely was.
Yeah, like, I just killed your ground army. May as well pull the boys now, when that should have just been his mentality from the get-go.
Yeah, I think a major difference in that map in particular is that one player had killer instinct, one player didn't. herO was down and out. He had another disastrous start, despite not going for a proxy. But then he decided, I'm going to send all my adepts, I'm going to send all my oracles to fight your marines and then completely clear out your mineral line. And that was the start for herO there. That was what eventually won him the game and got us into game number 4 here. Very exciting stuff. As we continue on Pride of Altaris, where in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner, we of course have a blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He's going to be representing the Shopify Rebellion. Or he is ByuN.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pride of Altaris LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player fighting back in this series, taking a game there, and gonna need to win one more to bring it all the way to the ace match. Representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is herO.
Good stuff.
He's scouting so much. He's like, where is it? Where's the proxy? I know it's somewhere.
Yeah, it is somewhere. It's in my main.
It's another 2-Rax opener, mate.
It's... I was really surprised that herO is being this cautious around his bases, the periphery of his bases, instead of just straight going across the map, because ByuN, he's not walling off this time.
True, he did not wall off, so, he would have been vulnerable to a bit of a probe scout, but again, herO, he was a lot more concerned with proxies. He didn't want to be cheesed out, not when he's finally got some momentum in the series, right? Like, herO, like, I just want an ace match. Like, regardless of who wins and who loses, I want to see this go all the way. I didn't want this to be one-sided. It would have been a little bit sad if ByuN just won 3-0, especially in the manner of some of these games.
Really would. Such as it is exciting to see ByuN, his, for quite some time, TVP was his weakest matchup. It seems like in the past 2 weeks in particular, he has been working a lot on TVP, but still, you don't want to have the semifinals end in a 3-0, do you?
Yeah, no one wants that, other than diehard ByuN fans.
Princess.
Look at you, Asher, bro. Looking at you. But here we go, like, so far from that 2-Rax going straight into that factory, already CC on the low ground. These Reapers, we saw them do a lot of damage in in the previous game. This time the Adepts are in position.
Who needs a wall when you have Adepts?
herO needed a wall last game, let's be real.
He really did. Well, he needed either or, right? But he had neither.
True.
So.
But yeah, again, like a much more solid start here from herO. He doesn't just deny these SCVs from getting worker kills, he also denies the scouts, and now Oracle is finished up, and it will eventually be seen, but much later compared to last game.
And it's going to be a little bit more tricky to get defenses up here. Now, thankfully, we are on Pride of Altaris. It's a very long map, and ByuN should be able to borrow his Widow Mine in time, but he needs to either hope that it's the position that herO is going for, or he baits the Oracle into the Widow Mine itself.
Yeah, pretty much. It's all about the position of that Widow Mine. There it is at the ramp at the moment. What's important is that, oh my god, herO, he just made a second Oracle, and he's making a third. Oh! The Widow Mine!
You don't often see that anymore in any matchup, really, let alone in TVP. That Widow Mine, absolute MVP, actually taking out 2 Adepts for 1 hit. So no SCVs go down yet. Okay, 1 SCV goes down. Is that an SCV or is that a Widow Mine? Might have been a Widow Mine.
Uh-oh. Speaking of the Oracles, now they're diving into the natural base. The Marines were a little bit out of position, but only 3 SCVs end up going down. It looks like, oh, no Oracles have fallen yet.
Yeah, so it happens. So you get double Oracle out. You can be a little bit more risky with them and still have them survive.
Just quickly checking, it is not mass Oracle, only 3. I was like, is it gonna be a 4th? Nobody is switching into pieces. He's not that crazy.
Yeah, this is a PvC, to be fair.
Oh.
And the Oracle's still picking off a couple of SCVs here and there, getting a little bit of damage. The important thing is that they all do survive, so I mean, especially knowing ByuN's playstyle, when he wants to go for really strong timings, having some stasis wards and what have you is can really make the difference between a victory and a defeat.
God, it really can. It's just the revelations continue to tag the army, which is honestly pretty important. Unlike the previous game, ByuN has gotten these medevacs out, so the drop potential is there. Obviously, you never want to do it when the revelation is on you, but so far, herO's done a really good job at just keeping things in check. And herO, the madman, is going for a gold.
All right, we're getting a race match.
Yeah, like man, he's already won, man. It's done.
Yeah, pretty much. No, but even without that gold base, herO is both really far ahead in the work count and also doing a really good job of keeping ByuN's army back home. Like, as you were mentioning, ByuN has not been able to get any harassment damage. He hasn't been able to drop across the map at all. And because of that, herO is able to keep up with ByuN's army production. He is able to tech up himself. ByuN really needs to... If ByuN still wants to go for a +1 timing, which it looks like he does, he is going to need to pull something a little bit special off. Like, I don't know, maybe pull the boys this time. ByuN, you know?
Yeah,
pull the boys earlier.
What's throwing me off is that this time, I mean, ByuN is still working on that +1 timing, as you were saying, but his third base is much faster. He has thrown it down, which does kind of tell us and tell herO that he probably isn't going to pull the boys. It probably wouldn't be an all-in. I'm sure
That's the mind games.
True, he could do it anyway. You're not wrong. What's worrisome is that ByuN is in the dark and he hasn't seen the gold. He doesn't realize actually how far behind he is economically.
Yeah, that he does not. Again, just pretty blind to anything he was doing on the other side of the map.
And it's one of those things where even if he did know, what is he going to do? Is he going to go for drops when there are all these phoenixes on the map? Like, it would be insane to try and do so. herO has vision all over the place. He has control of the watchtowers, throwing down pylons. He's got spotter probes as well. Like, he is looking for any kind of drop and ready to catch them all.
But you know what's the most deadly drop to this composition, though? The drop on the ground.
True.
That is the major... That's a major weakness of this unit composition, is that it is very vulnerable to big bio pushes like this. That's why herO, we see him, he's trying to tech up as quickly as possible. Does he have Storm yet? He doesn't have Storm yet, but he does have a couple of High Templar. He does have some Archons. He's trying to get his Robo Bay out as quickly as he can. Because that's the only way to defend against massive bio pushes like this.
Yeah. Exactly, like, he's working on Charge Lot Archon, but he doesn't have a lot of Archons to really work with. Widowmine shots can be amazing, and here we go, ByuN. Oh, he's thinking about pushing out. Phoenixes do get into the main base, and they're picking up a couple of reinforcements here and there. They get a couple of Marauders, actually.
Which are actually pretty important units. Oh, man! Oh, man! The stasis field. Oh! As a Terran player, I want to look at that and be like, that is painful, but at the same time, there's a sick satisfaction you get when you watch a bio army just fall head first into a stasis ward. It's like, nice.
Hey, ByuN played into herO's hands. herO was like, okay, I'm going to go in with my Phoenixes. I'm going to pretend that I'm not paying attention, and ByuN's like, alright, Phoenixes are my baby, let's go! And then he just runs into a stasis field. Oh, God. And now, mate, Colossus, they're going to finish.
That they are. Thumblant's not too far behind either. That's the worst feeling in the world ever, isn't it? When you stim forward and all of a sudden, the army's in stasis. You have all this adrenaline pumping through your Marines' bodies, right? But
Mm-hmm.
they literally cannot move. They're sitting there like, shaking a little.
No!
He does it again! Not as much this time.
Not as much, but again, like, ByuN wants to be active. He scans, he confirms the army, he sees the third base. Something's not right about this third. ByuN, as a reminder, still hasn't seen the gold. He hasn't seen any of this.
He has no clue how far behind. There! He has no clue how far behind he is. He's got a pylon blocking the potential. Nice.
There is. Meanwhile, the Widowmines almost catch the Phoenixes. Phoenixes are trying to find a way in, either into the bases or just pick off whatever they can. You know, medevac, a ghost. But herO is maxed out. Like, this is starting to get terrifying. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's literally maxed out now, yeah. I am a little bit worried about the amount of Phoenixes that he does have. It feels like they have.
True.
He has hit a point of diminishing returns on them, but you know, considering the general size of his army overall, yeah, I probably shouldn't be too worried here for herO.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that the time for the Phoenixes have come and gone. You can probably trade them out for better supply. Meanwhile, the Protoss army pushes on forward. The Phoenixes actually bait all the Widowmine shots.
That they do, yeah. So the Phoenixes, he has been able to get rid of his Phoenixes pretty effectively, while also keeping the majority of his ground army alive. 4 Colossus absolutely shreds through Bio.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I don't care if there are Marauders in that army or not. GG, we get our ace match.
GG, well played. herO in complete control that game, containing ByuN to his bases, taking advantage of that, going for the goal base. Not just that, but also his map presence was disgusting. It was brutal.
Absolutely. Yeah, I kind of got a feel for ByuN here this game, as this was a map where herO just pinned him against a wall throughout the entire time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every time ByuN tried to fight back, it really hit nothing. But at the same time, you know, it was about time for a game to just go completely herO's way after game number 1 and 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, herO was forced to play a much more standard game. He's like, God damn it. But it's working out for him. It is working out for him.
I hope he doesn't proxy in the ace match now.
Oh no!
Or if he does, then he's able to hide it a bit more effectively. But you know what? I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past herO.
Yeah.
Or on the ace, might as well pull something a little unorthodox off.
Don't do it, puppy. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I mean, it's a big map. It's tempting. You know, it's the ace match. ByuN, it's the last thing he would expect, right? Question mark.
No, papi. ByuN is vigilant.
Oh, God.
He's diligent and he's vigilant.
Really, ace match? ByuN, now it's time for you to proxy.
Proxy 4 racks across the map, you know? Been 2 racksing at home for quite some time, you know? Might as well double up. Alrighty then! We are going to be continuing and concluding our best of 5 TVP semifinals here on Glittering Ashes LE. We're in the top right hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right hand corner. We of course have our blue Terran player coming up from the land of Korea. He is going to be representing Shopify Rebellion, and he had such a good start to the series. Can he have a good end to it too? He is ByuN.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Dragon Feast Gaming, bringing it back. Can he make the reverse sweep happen? It is herO.
Yes, time to scout confirms. Just nothing too suspicious here for ByuN. Actually not going for the 2 racks this time.
Yeah, this is the first time where herO actually gets into the main base.
Yeah.
With his scouting probe. So yeah, he'll confirms the gases. As you said, this ace match, very first time, ByuN is just avoiding the 2-Rex Reaper.
Avoiding the Reaper in general here. Very ballsy, especially since we are in the ace match, and he knows exactly what herO is generally capable of, but you know, so far there isn't really much for him to worry about scouting-wise.
But there is not, and that means herO, he can get away with his expansion, you know, goes for a low ground wall, all that good stuff. And we are getting, so far, it looks like a much more standard macro game. It looks like it was ByuN's turn to be like, look, okay, especially last game, that 2-Rex opener was shut down, right? Like, the Reapers that time didn't pay for themselves. They didn't get into the main base. They didn't scout. They ran into a bunch of adepts. I have been figured out. I need to switch things up. I can't keep doing the same thing game after game after game against herO.
Yeah. But can he do something different, though? That's what we want to know.
It's a good question, mate. It's a good question.
It feels like as long as herO gets his harassment units out, when he gets enough adepts out, when he gets enough Stargate units of his choice out, then he can absolutely take control of the game start to finish. Oh, please don't proxy. Please don't proxy.
Nah. His Stargate's at home, so that there shouldn't be a proxy. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It's true.
Yeah, you never know. He could throw down a couple of shield batteries here and send some void rays across the map.
Just deny the natural base, you know, get a proxy robo going, all that good stuff. Speaking of, herO does check. I did quickly check his vision. He did see the high ground CC, so he knows that it's not going to be any kind of crazy one base play or anything like that.
Yeah, ByuN just playing this out a little extra safe. Both building his CC and morphing into an orbital on the high ground.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the first Widowmine is already borrowed here at the ramp. Drop is being set up, and all 3 Widowmines get loaded up, and they will not be at home for the Oracle.
Yeah, the Marines are here, but they really pack a lot less of a punch. It doesn't take much for the Oracle to maneuver around them either.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
no! herO miscalculated a little bit, and he took a lot of damage on this Oracle. Meanwhile, across the map, here comes that drop. Apparently, ByuN did not need those Widowmines at all to defend. He can use them across the map, and they get dropped.
Oh yeah, and the Phoenixes aren't quite in position yet. Okay. Do get lifted up. Now the Widowmines are revealed, so yeah, ByuN not getting as much damage across the map as he would perhaps have liked to.
Yeah.
Which is something.
There was an unfortunate pathing there where herO was coming back, and those 3 probes happened to be just under this one Phoenix, so the Widowmine shot did get some kills, but herO being much more greedy this game, going for a much faster 3rd Nexus.
And here's that hammer from herO once again, but yeah, this time I don't think it's going to hammer into glass. It's not going to connect with anything like glass or whatnot. Really, it's going to hit rubber and then bounce back onto him.
What are you even saying right now?
Like the hammer analogies. You know?
Oh god.
It can break steel. No, it can forge steel. Can probably break steel though. He's old.
It's true. A lot of things can break steel. Meanwhile, herO, he just dives on the Raven, and he will get it. Only so far losing a single Phoenix, but we have a scan.
Wow. I can't believe how dedicated ByuN was to taking out those Phoenixes, but you know, it's the principle of it. You get your Raven taken out, you gotta avenge it.
Exactly. And that was a decent trade. Like, I still think it was worth it for herO. Oh my god, no! The Oracle!
Will get taken out before the stasis pops off. And I gotta agree with you there. I think that was an even trade overall if we're just looking at the 2 Phoenixes for Raven. But after the Oracle is out, I want to favor ByuN a little bit more.
Exactly. Now ByuN doesn't have to worry about any more stasis fields. Like, the likelihood of herO making more Oracles at this point isn't very high at all. And as I'm sure you just remembered, like, stasis fields did play a huge role in the previous game, and that's not going to be here whatsoever.
I was trying not to remember. I mean, as a Terra player, is there any worse feeling in the world than stimming your bio forward and running face first into a stasis ward. Probably, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
It's brutal, mate. It's absolutely brutal. But now ByuN is moving out across the map. This probe on the high ground will spot this. So massive herO probe here from herO. Spots the army just in time.
And important to note, herO did go for a proxy right at the end, but I guess not quite a proxy, just a bit of a staging ground, if you want to call it that. He's getting ready for a counterattack as ByuN pushes out.
Yep, that he is here. He has 3 adepts across the map as well. But he has to be careful. Again, he has to be very wise about whether he warps in across the map or warps in at home, especially if ByuN does commit to a push.
ByuN being a little bit hesitant, just sort of snaking around, seeing if there's any... See if he can catch the Phoenixes out of position, I suppose.
Yep. Meanwhile, the Adepts shade into the natural waste, but it was a trap. There were reinforcements here, and 3 Adepts trade for 3 SCVs. They all get cleaned up, and now ByuN, I'm sure, is feeling a lot more confident about moving out. He's like, yo, now that I clean these up, I don't necessarily need to keep too much supply at home. Little does he know, there is that proxy, so he's still got to be careful.
He really, really does. Yeah, I like this from ByuN. He's just making sure that his 3 bases are well fortified before he pushes out. You know, just in case there are DTs coming out on the map, or what have you. He throws on a couple of turrets. He's just making sure that when he pushes out, he doesn't need to keep too many reinforcements back home.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we have a bit of a Zealot round back, but the choke is so good here for ByuN. The Zealots don't get any surface area, and they're forced to back off.
Yeah, sentries, you do use your force fields to secure the retreat, but that's not what you want to be utilizing your sentries for, right? You want to be using them more to cut off the army, to be able to pick off little bits and pieces of the Terran bio instead of fighting it all at once.
And speaking of, this time the Zealots are getting a little bit more of a better surround, but once again ByuN is there, ready to push this all away. But what's important is that herO is keeping ByuN at his 3rd base. He's keeping him on the back foot, as once again herO is going for those Colossus, is going for that double robo production.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned that herO doesn't have a 4th base yet, and ByuN is already working on his own, but I guess ByuN, or herO rather, wants to do what he did in the previous game, try to max out as quickly as possible, and then just break ByuN with a very strong gateway robo army. Not working out too well for him so far, though.
Yeah, like, herO honestly traded very well there. Like, he lost minimal Phoenixes, and all he lost were Zealots, to be honest. He's going for another run by, again, trying to pull ByuN apart, but he was a little bit distracted. He was a little bit of awkward AI movement there, and now herO is forced all the way back, and he's forcing ByuN into a counterattack.
Are we gonna get a base race? As herO did warp in a little bit by his forward gateway, by his forward pylon. Decent splits here, but I think ByuN just took a couple too many casualties in those Purification Novas. We're on about even supplies, and ByuN realizes that, yeah, he cannot win that. Beautiful EMPs before the ghost actually got taken out.
Oh god, exactly. Honestly, that saved some of those ghosts towards the end. Jesus Christ. But regardless, there was still a couple of times. No, they come back and they get another ghost.
Ghost is so expensive, and EMP is probably the most effective spell, the most effective anti-Protoss spell you can really get right now.
God, it really is. Meanwhile, now we have 4 Disruptors, Colossus production has started. Oh god, no!
Oh no, the splits were not there at all! herO takes out about a quarter of ByuN's army just like that. And if he so wanted to, he could keep pressing this. But he doesn't need to.
There's nothing stopping him from pressing this. Another Nova goes off, gets the Widowmine. There are 2 Widowmines on top of this ramp. Like, pushing up ramp is always a difficult thing, but not when you have Novas.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Oh, no. Be like herO, he was just waiting on top of that ramp, waiting with his Disruptors, like he got away with it, and now he's here across the map, and oh my god, no, another one goes off in the mineral line.
Yeah, I don't see how ByuN holds from here. He's trying his damn still.
He really is. Liberators are coming out, which are great, but we still have Phoenixes left over from the start of the game. Meanwhile, in comes that Colossus we were talking about. Now we have all the forms of AoE. Another Nova goes off.
Nice, massive chunk. of the Terran army here. herO has almost twice the army supply at the moment.
Yep, he's just looking for the best angle. What I will say is that ByuN has a lot of great SimCity here with his depots, with his 4th base, even with the missile turret, so it's difficult for these zealots to really get a nice, close distance, I should say, a nice surface area on the army. But there's only so much they can do, really.
Yeah, and at a certain point, you know, SimCity works against ByuN's favor when all of this AoE collapses on top of the ByuN army.
Yeah, it's like, it's great that they have these choke points, but it also funnels his own army and it makes these Purification Novas even more juicier. And as herO just rotates around, again, he is maxed out.
ByuN still, it's going to be a while before he himself gets there. There are so many disruptors on the ground, but ByuN is trying to force herO into a choke point like this. Another couple of good Purification Novas, but I gotta tell you, I think ByuN has kept a lot more of his army alive this time, and he's trading a little bit efficiently, but not efficiently enough. GG is called, and herO will take that reverse sweep to go all the way to the semifinals. Do we have an opponent yet? Let me just check real quick as we get the GG button ready. Very well played here. I think Glittering Ashes in particular, I think that was when we really saw both players at their peaks. But in the end, those Purification Novas, man, that was just that little tiny nudge for herO that really allowed him to snowball and go all the way.
Yeah, there's a lot that really came into this ace match. I love that, like, herO had a relatively greedy opener with that very fast 3rd Nexus, but with that extra minerals, with all those minerals, he could afford all these Zealot run-bys. And again, you could argue that, yo, are these Zealots really dealing too much damage? They're trading relatively well. More importantly, they were just buying time for the Robotics Bay. And then once those disruptors came out, then herO could really pop off. And mate, that first Purification Nova was insane. Like, ever since that moment, he just had all the momentum, and he just never let go of it.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what happens, right? When you have two players playing their absolute hearts out, and they're both relatively evenly matched. All it takes is for one player to falter, and that's gonna be about it. Yeah, GG. We actually do have our opponent here, Solar. Despite starting later, finished earlier. So now we are going to be getting a PvZ finals.
Oh my god, let's go. We're getting ready for our grand finals, people. Everyone just diving into this lobby. And I need to get ready and set up those predictions.
That we do.